All right, I'm Michael Willis with USA Wrestling. I'm here with Greco-Roman World Team member Raymond. We are going to do a little Team USA Tuesday interview. Raymond, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine. So I got a list of questions here. We're going to just run through them, and you're going to let me know how you feel about them.
Sounds good.
All right, start. We're going to throw you some softballs. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? That's a tough one. I would have to go with The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, just because, the moral behind the story is keep trying, keep putting that effort, and your dreams can come true.
Yeah, I think I saw that one in theaters. Actually, it was a good one. Definitely stuck with me. Favorite musical artist?
Favorite musical artist? So I've only been to one concert ever, and that was a Justin Bieber concert, and I was one of the only guys at the concert, so that was really cool. But as of right now, my favorite musician is Bad Bunny.
Okay. You have a favorite Bad Bunny song?
Uh, I like the Ignorantes. I don't really know what they're saying, but I really like the beat. So,
Fair enough. Do you have a favorite Justin Bieber song?
um, what do you mean?
Fair enough. All right. Favorite food, and I guess I could cut this into two separate questions. Favorite food when you can eat whatever you want, and then favorite food when you're training and eating healthier.
Okay, so I'm gonna put them into one answer for you. So
All
my
right.
favorite food all around is ice cream. Whether I am losing weight or gaining weight, I will have ice cream. So
What flavors?
definitely chocolate. Chocolate all day.
You got a particular brand you want to plug that's like the best chocolate ice cream?
It'd be cool to get some, ice cream sponsorships or something, but I like the Halo Top ice cream because, it's vegan, it's healthy, it's good for you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think the conception around or perception around vegan food is pretty negative sometimes, but vegan ice cream is actually pretty good. My wife's vegan, so I've had some of the like the coconut milk ones. Like a coconut milk base is pretty good. Like it's got fat in it. It's not bad. Dairy free isn't always bad.
Yeah, it tastes good.
Yeah. Um, what is your favorite sport to watch other than wrestling?
Boxing. That's definitely my favorite because it's one of the oldest sports, and those guys are in there going forward, and the women too, and they're just hitting each other, and it's awesome.
Who's your do you have a favorite boxer or do you have like a favorite classic matchup?
My favorite boxer, probably Mike Tyson. Guy is just something special. Eye of the tiger.
Yeah. Did you play any other sports growing up?
I raced BMX bicycles. I believe it's an Olympic sport now, but when I was racing, it wasn't. I did that from about 5 years old to 13 years old. My sister was a lot better than me at it, and I ended up quitting because I lost to a girl. And yeah, I just kind of like put down the bike and I was like, that's it. And it's the only thing I ever quit. So then I started mixed martial arts and started that journey.
Right on. Do you ever have, I know that's a pretty intense sport. Do you ever have any like gnarly bails?
Well, I would be the guy purposely trying to take people off the track. So I would kind of talk to my teammates and be like, "Hey, you're going to win this one, and I'm going to take him over the turn." So that's kind of how we did it. So we worked together.
Right on. So you're kind of like the enforcer.
Okay, we could go with that. I like to think the Punisher, but
Fair enough. Um, who is your favorite wrestler to watch, either past or present?
so I have three favorite wrestlers: one Greco, one freestyle, and one women's freestyle. I like Dennis Hall because in Greco-Roman because we have a similar style and a similar mindset and approach through the sport. Good position, fundamentals. I like Yanni in freestyle because that boy can just that man can just straight up scramble. It's amazing to watch, and I really enjoy watching Adeline Gray because, what she's done for women's wrestling and just her mentality of, going in there knowing she's going to win and dominate. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, two legends of the sport and one potentially future legend on that list. So that's a pretty good one. So off the mat, what are some of your hobbies?
I like to drive my car and I like to meet new people.
Fair enough. What kind of car do you drive?
So I have a 2020 Chevy RS Blazer, and it's bright red. So whenever I drive it, people are always, like staring at me and stuff like that. But, I just have that vehicle because I actually like that vehicle, and I like that it's an American-made car. So
Well, the Blazer, like that made a comeback, right? Because it weren't they not producing it for a little while, and then the 2020 was like a new version of the older one.
yeah, they did take them away for a while. Yeah.
So were you stoked when you found out it was coming back?
Well, I honestly didn't know much about it, to be honest, but when I saw it, it was like love at first sight. Like when you see a pretty woman and you're like, I think she might be the one for me. That's kind of how it was for the car.
Right on. All right, so serious question. What's your biggest fear?
Uh, I actually wrote that down because I don't know, biggest fear. My biggest fear is dying a death that isn't honorable. So, just dying like a coward. And, I joined the Marine Corps to serve and protect my country. And, no one wants to die, but if I do have to go out, I want it to be in honorable fashion. And I don't want it to be something stupid, like it's kind of my biggest fear. Whether it's on the wrestling mat, that would be pretty cool, but, or in the combat, but definitely not something dumb.
Man, heavy answer to a heavy question. Hopefully we don't see you dying on a wrestling mat anytime soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
um, so obviously, you're in the Marine Corps. What are your plans once your wrestling career is over?
Well, I'd like to think I can wrestle forever, but I know it will come to an end. All great things come to an end. So I plan on, continuing my military career. I really love being in the military. I love being in the Marine Corps. Um, Possibly getting into coaching, that would be amazing. I love wrestling. I love helping others, helping my teammates, anyone that asks for help. And when I'm all done with everything, hopefully go live in Europe, possibly Budapest or somewhere cool like that.
Very cool. How did you first get involved in wrestling?
Um, Fifth grade. So fifth grade, I played football a little bit too, and then the guy's like, "Hey, come wrestle in the summer," and I went in there and I got cross-faced in my first competition, and I bit the boy's arm, and they stopped the match, and then they kicked me out and said, "If you ever did this again, you're banned from USA Wrestling." So then that was a big deal. So my mom said, "No more wrestling for you," and then we waited until high school. So.
Gotcha. When did you specifically start wrestling Greco-Roman?
Greco-Roman in the Marines. So I didn't really know what Greco was about or anything, but I came to the Marine team and Coach Lukitis, kind of mentored me, helped me, developed me into this Greco wrestler.
So how specifically did you end up like doing Greco and getting involved in wrestling in the Marines? Because I think a lot of people are familiar with how freestyle guys go to high school, go to college, and then end up on the international scene. What did your path to the Marines and specifically wrestling in the Marines look like?
Yeah, so I joined the Marine Corps to be a Marine. I honestly didn't even pick my job. I signed the contract and said, I want to go to boot camp. Send me whenever you can. I want to serve my country, be a Marine. Signed up, went through all the training and hit my first duty station in Okinawa, Japan. And from there, I had a little extra time, so I was wrestling with some of the Marines, and then I came across something online that said you can try out for the All Marine Wrestling Team, and it was like the coolest thing ever. And I put my application in and waited, and basically destiny and opportunity collided, and I got my shot.
Very cool. What did that tryout look like?
So the way the tryouts work, it's you're on a 6-month TAD trial period. So you're constantly being evaluated, not only as an athlete, but as a Marine. So if you're lacking on the Marine side, you're out the door. If you're lacking on the wrestler side, you're out the door. So we try to bring the best people, the best Marines to the team. And when I came onto the team, I had to wrestle Captain Bryce Adoris, 2-time World Team member. So I just, had my face beat down every day, and I came back stronger. And yeah, it was tough.
So you were at the world team at 72 kilograms, non-Olympic weight class. So for the 2020 games being held in 2021 now, you have the option of either dropping to 67 or going up to 77. Have you thought about which you're going to do, and is this postponement affecting that decision at all?
No, it's not. And the guys know I'm coming. They know where I'm coming. They know it's in their head. And, I'm going to perform my best and be the best Ray Bunker that I can be. So they know where I'm going. Everybody knows where I'm going, and I'll see you there.
All right. So you're not going to let us in on that one?
All they have to do is look at my track record and, see what I weighed in when I was wrestling 72. And yeah.
All right, folks. So you got to do a little homework, and you'll figure that one out. So you went from like kind of an uncommon thing, especially for someone that's been wrestling and isn't like just coming out of college and like breaking onto the world scene. You've been competing for a couple years, but you made a world team before you ever made a national team. And for those who don't know, national team is top 3 at the weight class. What would you attribute that breakthrough to?
Yeah, so I'd say honestly, Mike, it was a mindset. December 14th of 2017 was the day I quit drinking alcohol, and I decided to take my career serious. I believe I read the book From Amateur to Pro, or Turning Pro, or something like that, and it kind of changed my perspective about things, and I decided that was kind of holding me back. And I took that, demon, locked it in the closet, and pushed forward. I didn't really have the results the following year, and I just stayed the course. And I decided to move up a weight class and get better at wrestling. And then one day I had like a traumatic experience happen in my life, and I kind of made a vision quest with myself. And for that season, the 2019 season, I looked myself in the mirror and said, "You're going to be on the world team. You're winning everything this year." And it kind of just happened. I won just about every tournament or medaled in just about every competition.
Yeah. So looking back on 2019, do you think you accomplished that vision quest you kind of established for yourself?
For the most part, my goal was to go to the world and win, but realistically speaking, it just wasn't my time to win. And, I really felt that I had the capabilities to get the job done. But now that I evaluate myself, I see how much room there is, for growth. And I believe I did just about everything I said I was going to do, but that fire, was lit. That fire got sparked up in 2019. I'm ready to go for 2020 and forever. Let's do this.
Yeah. So going off script a little bit with this one, but off your last answer, for other wrestlers, maybe specifically for like younger wrestlers and stuff, how important is it to set goals for yourself as well as self-evaluate and reestablish goals?
Yeah, so it's really hard to track your progress, but I like to use that term, get 1% better every day. So mentally challenge yourself every day. It doesn't come down to just being the most physical or the most technical. The mentality and how you approach your lifestyle with having a positive attitude, because you could have 10 bad practices, 10 bad days. But if you keep a positive attitude, you will learn something all 10 of those days. And that 11th day might be a breakthrough. So for you young wrestlers, just try to keep a positive attitude and absorb all the information around you. Your coaches and your parents and teachers are really trying to help you.
I think that's some great advice, right?
Thank you.
In 2019, besides yourself, the Marines just in general had a breakout year, putting a number of guys on the national team. John Stefanowicz was, teammates with you on the world team. Can you talk a little bit about that as well as just the Marine wrestling culture? I know you already said that you try to get like the best Marines and the best athletes in the program.
Yeah, so the history we had in the Marine Corps, we used to dominate in wrestling if you look at our history. And we've had, tons of great Marines like Buddy Lee and Greg Gibson paved the way for us. And those are just two examples. There are many Marines, that paved the way. But right now, we have a really hard working room. I'd say we have the hardest working room in the country. A lot of us haven't got the results that we wanted, and there's a lot of Marines that are right there and they're about to break through. They need to stay the course. We're a family. Our coach believes in us 100%. Everyone is so supportive. It's that room where you could go in and you're happy to be there, and everyone is working together. It doesn't matter if we're the same weight class. We're Marines first. So that mindset has helped this program transcend to a completely different level.
Yeah, I mean, I think the results show that really there's something special going on with the program right now, and that's undeniable. Um, so, like I said, this was first world team you'd ever been on. Hadn't been on an age group world team. And you go to Nur Sultan, Kazakhstan to compete in the senior world championships. What was that experience like?
It was an amazing experience, and I need to get back. I went to the last two worlds in Paris and Budapest as a training partner, and I told myself, "You're going to the worlds this year, and you will be the man." And that's what happened. And I just, after losing in the quarterfinals, the number one seed at the worlds in a close match, I need to get back there. I need to get back there, and I need to finish the job. And that's what I want to do, not only for the Marine Corps and USA Wrestling, but also for myself, because I can do it.
How different is it being an actual competitor versus being a training partner? And do you think being a training partner helped you at all to be ready and prepared for wrestling in the worlds?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So I was there, I was around the environment, so it wasn't new to me. I've been there the last 2 years. I felt comfortable. There were a few issues that I'm working with my sports psychologist right now, but for the most part, I felt really good and relaxed in that environment. Where if it was my first time in that arena, I probably wouldn't have been as comfortable.
Makes sense. All right, so this question is a bit of a doozy, but what was the best advice you've received in your career, or one piece of advice that really just stands out to you after all this time?
So I'd say in my wrestling career, the best advice that I've received was probably from Coach Gary Mayab. He told me you never want to be too high and you never want to be too low. When you win, you get high, and when you lose, you get really low. You need to find that medium. So if you're up there, you need to knock yourself down. If you're down here, you need to knock yourself up. So always having a level head is very important. And then Coach Bomir, he's amazing. He would say, enjoy the journey, and just enjoying the journey because it's going to end someday. And when you have those bad days and you're sitting in the sauna and you're losing weight, that's when you need to love wrestling. When you just lost the match by 1 point, that's when you need to love wrestling. Not just when things are going good, but when they're going bad, that's when you need to truly love the sport.
Yeah, wise words from some really wise individuals. I mean, USA Wrestling is really lucky to have Gary Mayab on staff, and Momir retired last year, but another fantastic wrestler and fantastic coach. So in the same vein, and you kind of touched on this earlier, but if you could give one piece of advice to a younger wrestler, what would it be?
I'd say be thankful for your parents and coaches. Not everyone has the opportunities that you may have and the support you may have. But if you're one of those athletes that doesn't have that support, it doesn't mean you can't accomplish your goals. There are a lot of examples out there of athletes that are competing at the senior level in college that are winning that didn't have that support. But always make sure that you respect the rules. Okay, when you go into a wrestling room and they have a rule set, be the one to lead by example and follow the rules. It's very important.
Gotcha. All right. So, wrestling, toughest sport, bar none. What motivates you during a particularly brutal, grueling training session? What helps you dig deep?
I would say, I know I've been through. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Cool. I've been through very challenging things in my life, and this is just a sport. We're wrestling, and it's fun, and have fun with it. But remember your vision. Where do you want to be? And when I see my vision of where I want to be and what I can become, that's when I keep pushing through the pain because the pain doesn't matter.
Gotcha. All right, Ray, last question for you. What is your best wrestling memory to date?
Um, I would have to say the best memory was when I made the world team and my mom came up on the stage, and none of that was planned, to be honest, but that was a real special moment for my family and for me and for the Marine Corps. It was just awesome.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Well, Ray, thanks for taking the time and talking with us. It was great catching up and getting to know a little bit more about you. Stay safe and hopefully we see you back on the mat soon.
Thank you. I'd like to, thank all the supporters of USA Wrestling. I'd like to thank the Marine Corps for all that they do for me and all the Marines. And I just want everyone to stay safe and wash your hands.
All right. Words to live by, folks. Thanks again for tuning in.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.